January 1968. A major Hollywood studio offered John Wayne $1 million to play a Confederate general who refuses to free his slaves. Wayne read the script overnight. The next morning, he drove to his agent's office in Beverly Hills. What happened when he threw that script on the desk would define everything he believed about being John Wayne. Here is the story. Los Angeles, January 12, 1968, morning. Wayne's agent Richard sent him a script yesterday afternoon. Messenger delivered it to Newport Beach. Note attached. Duke, read this tonight. It's your retirement fund. Wayne read it. 217 pages. A Western, Civil War era. The role, a Confederate general. The war ends. Lincoln issues the Emancipation Proclamation. The general refuses to free the slaves on his plantation. Becomes an outlaw. Violent, racist, cruel. Wayne read the whole script without stopping. Took him 3 hours. When he finished, he closed it, sat back in his chair, stared at the ceiling for 20 minutes. His wife, Pilar, walked in. "What's wrong?" "I need to see Richard." "Now? It's 11 at night." "First thing tomorrow." January 13th, 1968, 9:30 a.m. Wayne drives to Beverly Hills. Richard's office is on Wilshire Boulevard, 3rd floor, corner office with windows overlooking the street. Wayne parks, gets out. He's wearing slacks and a sport coat. The script is under his arm, rolled up tight. He takes the elevator, walks down the hall, opens Richard's door without knocking. Richard is at his desk, on the phone. Looks up, sees Wayne. His face lights up. "Let me call you back." He hangs up, stands. "Duke, you read it. What did you think?" Wayne walks to the desk, doesn't sit, just stands there holding the script. Richard is grinning. "Incredible, right? Best script I've read in 5 years. The studio is offering $1 million. $1 million, Duke. You can retire after this." Wayne drops the script on the desk. It lands with a thud. "I'm not doing it." Richard's smile fades. "What?" "I said I'm not doing it." "Duke, did you read the same script I sent?" "I read it." "Then what's the problem? The writing is brilliant. The director won an Academy Award. The character is a racist. I don't play racists." Richard sits down, picks up the script, flips through it like he's looking for something. "Duke, it's a period piece. We're showing history. You've played complicated characters before." "Complicated, yes. Evil, no." "It's not evil. It's complex. The general believes he's protecting a way of life. He's protecting slavery. That's not complex. That's evil." Richard sets the script down, leans back in his chair. "Duke, it's fiction. You're an actor. This doesn't mean you believe what the character believes." Wayne's jaw tightens. "I'm not just an actor. I'm a symbol. Kids watch my movies. Black kids, white kids. I'm not going to teach them that racism is entertaining." "You're overthinking this." "No, you're underthinking it." Richard stands up, walks around the desk. "Duke, listen to me. This is $1 million. More money than you've ever been offered for a single film. Think about your family, your kids. This could set them up for life." "I am thinking about them. I'm thinking about what kind of man their father is. This is Hollywood. We play characters. It doesn't mean..." "I've played soldiers, cowboys, lawmen, some good, some flawed. But I've never played a man who thought another human being was property, and I never will." Richard's voice rises. "You're making a mistake." Wayne's voice stays level, quiet, deadly calm. "Maybe, but it's my mistake to make. The studio won't like this. I don't care what they like. They could blacklist you." Wayne leans forward, places both hands on the desk, looks Richard straight in the eye. "Let them try. I'm John Wayne. I've been the #1 box office draw for 15 years. They need me more than I need them." Richard says nothing, just stares. Wayne straightens up. "There's a line, Richard. This is the line. Find someone else." He turns, walks to the door. "Duke, wait." Wayne doesn't stop, opens the door, walks out, closes it behind him. Richard stands alone in his office, looking at the script on his desk, still rolled up from where Wayne dropped it. Wayne drives home, hands tight on the steering wheel, jaw clenched. He's not angry at Richard. Richard is doing his job. Agents push. That's what they do. But this isn't negotiable. There's no amount of money that makes this okay. He gets home around noon. Pilar is in the kitchen. How did it go? I turned it down. The $1 million role? Yes. She doesn't ask why. She knows. She's been married to him long enough to know there are lines he won't cross. Are you okay? I'm fine. His daughter Aisa walks in. She's 12 years old. Daddy, what's wrong? Nothing, sweetheart. You look upset. Wayne takes a breath, softens. Just work stuff. Nothing important. Mommy says someone offered you a lot of money. They did. Are you going to take it? No. Why not? Wayne kneels down, looks her in the eye. Because the character I'd have to play is a bad man, and I don't want to pretend to be a bad man, not even for money. What makes him bad? He thinks some people are less human than others just because of how they look. Aisa frowns. That's stupid. Yes, it is. Then you made the right choice. Wayne hugs her. Thank you, sweetheart. 2 days later, January 15th, the phone rings. Wayne's assistant answers, transfers the call. Mr. Wayne, it's the studio head. He wants to speak with you. Wayne takes it. Hello? John, it's Marcus. We need to talk about this role. Marcus runs one of the biggest studios in Hollywood. Powerful man, connected. Wayne has worked with him before. There's nothing to talk about. I'm not doing it. Your agent says you think the character is racist. The character is racist. It's a period piece, John. We're showing history. The Searchers, you played Ethan Edwards. He was racist. Ethan Edwards was complex. The movie condemned his racism. This script celebrates it. We're making art here, showing the truth of that era. No, you're making the villains sympathetic, making audiences root for him. That's different. Marcus pauses. John, this is $1 million, more than you've ever been offered. I don't need it that badly. Think about your future, your family. I am thinking about them. I'm thinking about what kind of example I set. Before we continue our story, tell me where you watch from. Let's see which place has the most fans of The Duke. This is business, John. We play characters. It doesn't mean we believe what they believe. Wayne's voice hardens. I'm not just an actor. I'm a symbol. Whether I like it or not. Kids look up to me. They see me as what a man should be. I'm not going to show them a man who thinks other people are property. You're being unreasonable. I've played soldiers, cowboys, lawmen, good men, flawed men, but never a man who believed slavery was right. There's a line. This is it. We can blacklist you for this. Wayne laughs, cold sound. Try it. I'm John Wayne. I've been #1 at the box office for 15 years. You need me more than I need you. Silence on the other end. Good luck finding someone else, Marcus. Wayne hangs up. He sits at his desk, hands still, but his jaw is tight. These people think everything has a price, think principles can be bought for 7 figures. They're wrong. 2 weeks later, end of January, Richard calls. Duke, they cast someone else. Wayne doesn't ask who, doesn't care. Good luck to him. Are you sure about this? It's not too late. I could call Marcus. Richard, I'm sure. Let it go. 11 months later, December 1968. The film is released. Wayne doesn't go see it. Reads the reviews instead. The New York Times. A reprehensible film that glorifies the worst of American history. Variety. Racist garbage masquerading as entertainment. The Hollywood Reporter. A career-ending mistake for everyone involved. The film flops. Loses money badly. The actor who took Wayne's role never works in a major film again. The director's reputation is damaged. The studio takes a financial hit. Wayne reads the reviews in his study. Feels no satisfaction, no smugness, just relief that his name isn't attached to this disaster. Meanwhile, Wayne spends 1968 and early 1969 filming True Grit, playing Rooster Cogburn, a U.S. Marshal. Flawed, yes. A drunk, rough around the edges, but ultimately a good man. A man who helps a young girl get justice. A man who stands up for what's right. The film is released in June 1969. Critics love it. Audiences love it. Wayne is nominated for an Academy Award. April 7, 1970. The Oscars. Wayne wins. his first and only Oscar in 40 years of acting. He walks to the stage, accepts the award, gives a short speech, thanks the cast and crew, thanks his family. He doesn't mention the role he refused, doesn't need to. Everyone in the room knows what he turned down, knows what he chose instead. He walks off stage holding the Oscar. In his dressing room afterward, he looks at the statue, thinks about the path not taken, the $1 million he could have had, the racist character he refused to play. He has no regrets. Wayne never speaks publicly about the role he turned down, never gives interviews about it, never brings it up. He doesn't want publicity for doing the right thing, doesn't want praise for having basic principles. He just moves on, makes more movies, lives his life. But his agent knows, his family knows, the studio knows, and the story spreads quietly through Hollywood, whispered in casting offices, mentioned in script meetings. Remember when Duke turned down $1 million because the character was too racist? That's integrity. June 11th, 1979. Wayne dies of cancer at UCLA Medical Center. At his funeral, his agent Richard speaks to a reporter, off the record at first, then decides the story should be told. In 1968, John Wayne turned down $1 million, the biggest offer he'd ever received, because the character celebrated racism. The studio threatened to blacklist him. He told them to try. He said he'd never play a man who thought other people were property. There was a line he wouldn't cross, not for any amount of money. The reporter publishes the story. It goes national. Letters pour in to Wayne's family, from fans, from veterans, from people who grew up watching his movies. One letter is different. It's from a group of black community leaders. They write, "We didn't always agree with John Wayne's politics, but in 1968, when he was offered $1 million to play a racist character, he refused. He said children were watching, black children and white children. He wouldn't teach them that racism was entertainment. We learned about this decision after his death. We wish we could have thanked him while he was alive. He was a man of principle. That matters more than politics. Rest in peace, Duke." Wayne's daughter Aissa reads the letter at the family gathering after the funeral. Everyone is quiet. His son Patrick says, "He never told us about that. He never mentioned turning down that role." Aissa folds the letter carefully. "That's because Dad didn't think it was worth mentioning. To him, it wasn't a heroic choice. It was just the only choice, the right one." The story of the Confederate general role becomes part of Wayne's legacy, not the movies he made, but the one he refused to make. Film students study it, ethics classes discuss it, biographers write about it. The question always comes up, why did John Wayne turn down $1 million? The answer is simple and complicated. Simple, because the character was racist and Wayne wouldn't play him. Complicated, because Wayne understood something most people don't, that fame isn't just about you, it's about everyone who looks up to you, everyone who sees you as a symbol, everyone who tries to be like you. Wayne knew kids watched his movies, black kids, white kids, kids from every background. They saw him as a hero, they wanted to be like him, and he refused to teach them that racism was acceptable, even in fiction, even in a period piece, even for $1 million. Because some things aren't for sale. Principles aren't for sale. Your name isn't for sale. The image you present to the world isn't for sale. Wayne played soldiers even though he never served. That haunted him his whole life. But he never played a racist, never played a man who thought other humans were property. That line he wouldn't cross. And when the studio threatened to blacklist him, he didn't blink, because he knew his worth, knew they needed him more than he needed them, knew that standing up for what's right is more important than standing up for your career. The $1 million went to another actor. That actor's career ended. Wayne's career continued. He won his only Oscar the next year, played the role he was born to play, a flawed but decent man fighting for justice. That's the difference. That's the choice. That's the line. Today, film historians look back at 1968. They talk about that notorious Confederate general film as one of the worst flops in Hollywood history. Racist, offensive, a cautionary tale about what happens when studios chase controversy over substance. And they talk about John Wayne's refusal to be part of it. They call it one of the most principled stands in Hollywood history. A movie star turning down a fortune because the character conflicted with his values. Wayne never saw it that way. To him, it wasn't complicated. It wasn't even a difficult choice. Kids were watching. That's all that mattered. And you don't teach kids that racism is entertainment. You don't show them that some people are less human than others. You don't tell them that money is more important than principles. You just don't do it. Not for $1 million. Not for anything. That's the line. Wayne found his. He held it. He never crossed it. And that's what makes a man. Not the roles you play, but the roles you refuse to play. Not the money you make, but the money you turn down. Not the fame you achieve, but the principles you keep when fame tries to compromise them. John Wayne turned down $1 million in 1968. He never regretted it. Not once. Not ever. Because some things are worth more than money. Integrity is one of them. Principle is another. And teaching children the right lessons about humanity is worth more than all the money in Hollywood. That's the story. That's the choice. That's the man. What line would you never cross, no matter how much money was offered? Sometimes the greatest choices we make are the opportunities we refuse, and unfortunately, they don't make men like John Wayne anymore.